the glare of the spotlight contrasting with the dull hue of a hotel room, the roar of the crowd followed by the hum of the bus engine, always heading somewhere else. Monday after Tuesday after what day is it today? For some bands, losing a lead singer could be problematic, but for Journey, it would prove to be a seemingly insurmountable challenge. It would be a mountain we'd have to climb if we were to carry on. Neil Sean and his soaring guitar and I and my songwriting would be put on hold, standing by as we lost Steve Perry and his one-of-a-kind voice. I walked down the aisle to that song, someone said. I've been a Journey fan since 1975, another fan told me. I cry every time I hear Open Arms. Nobody could know that Steve Perry would never sing that song again with Journey. I knew something was over, that this particular season was coming to an end. Yet even I couldn't fathom the idea that we had just played the last official concert ever with the frontman who had sung his heart out since 1977. I had held similar feelings before, like the time Steve announced he would be following Neil's example and releasing his own solo album. Street Talk came out 3 years earlier and had featured hits like Oh Sherry and Foolish Heart. But even then, Perry had been committed to Journey. It would be another few months before Steve shared his intentions with Neil and me, when he would tell us he was toast and he was done. This would be the start of the dire months that lay ahead for me. In less than a year, my band would be over, my marriage would disintegrate, and worst of all, my father would pass away. The man who never stopped believing in me and who had supported me from the moment I was born had to watch the dream I'd been living evaporate before my eyes. Dad witnessed the highs, yet he would never have a chance to see the fruit of all the years of being my hero and mentor. The man who helped shape my destiny as a musician, songwriter, husband, and father would lose his battle with cancer at the young age of 63. The year ahead would be one of the toughest I would ever have to endure. Perhaps I had a premonition of the things to come with the band, and that's why I was still signing autographs at 2:30 a.m. in a hotel. The poster I signed for the Raised on Radio album featured 5 of us, posing in shades, with Neil Sean on one side and Steve Perry on the other. I stood in the middle, the only one of the 3 to look into the camera, while between us stood 2 strangers to our Journey family, Randy Jackson and Mike Baird, were the talented studio musicians we had hired to play the respective bass and drum parts that had been vacated. The decision to move on without Ross Valerie and Steve Smith would be one of those mistakes I regretted the most when it came to the band I joined in 1980. Thankfully, life gives us a chance for redos and makeovers. I've learned through my journey that it's never too late to start over, and there's no division too broken to be restored. We also have to finish what we start. Even though I was saying goodbye to these fans and to the band I dearly loved, I knew Journey wasn't finished. My time with Neil and Ross and Steve wasn't over either. I also believed there was more on the horizon with Steve Perry. This couldn't be the end. Not like this. Not in this way. Life is a series of songs that reveal what we're all about. They are unashamed ballads and soaring barn burners. They can be hits and also misses we want to forget. We sing to discover who we are, yet in the process we learn who we are ultimately singing for. I couldn't help but think of the last song on our set list for this tour, the favorite of Steve Perry's mother, Mary. The words I'd written that Steve made everybody remember so well. Circus life, under the big top world. We all need the clowns to make us smile. I looked around the lobby and saw lots of long arms and fading concertees. The circus was finally over, and we'd be exiting this big top world. Somewhere along the way, the clowns had stopped making us smile.